Hi, my name is Jane Rosensen, and I'm the Principal Harpist with Opera Australia. I chose Lucia because it has the harp solo that every harp student has to learn when they're young. It will be on the list for all opera auditions. It's maybe moderately difficult, but the challenge is to sound like a bel canto singer. And even though the bar lines are strict and it's straight, you have to be mellifluous and like Lucia in the opera. Lulu's another audition excerpt that I almost got a job in America. Emma Matthews was Lulu, who's great. And they had mirrors for her, and Simone was conducting and had a part in the opera. She had the same red dress that Emma Matthews wore. I think it was to depict Lulu's shadow side. And also it mirrored the music, because in that serial music, you take little pieces of the phrase and you flip it around, so you invert it. It always stands out to me as one of the interesting operas and the most fun I've had playing. I chose Rosalba because it was one of the operas we performed with Richard Hickox as our artistic director and music director, and we recorded with Chandos Records. He was always really fun to work with, Richard, because he was a gentleman and he was an excellent musician, and we all felt very included in the process. He personally asked me if I liked the harp song. I'm actually Rosalba introducing, when she comes into different scenes, like in Song of the Moon, the harp signals her entrance. It was reviewed by Gramophone magazine and it got a really good review. They even mentioned the harp. I was proud for us as a group at that point in time. I chose La Boheme because if you're a harpist, Puccini is the king. The harp writing is so beautiful, and it makes you want to cry. It's so much fun to play. We were lucky enough to have as one of our conductors for a long time was Carlo Felice Cillario. He was very fiery and a feisty old guy, but he got the best out of people, and he really taught us how to play the Italian repertoire. In the beginning of Act 3 in Bohème, the harp and the flutes go ding, 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 and it's supposed to symbolize the snow falling. And they used to have dry ice on stage, so it was misty. So it came time to play, and then all of a sudden the whole place like fogged in and we couldn't see Cillario, and I think he was going nuts. Probably seemed like an eternity, but it was only a few minutes. I chose Peter Grimes for my list because, first of all, it's Benjamin Britten and I love him. And it was the first opera I played here with Opera Australia. Britten's writing is so succinct and so amazing. I don't think I could do justice explaining it, but the harp writing is really beautiful. And it's interesting how he used the instruments together, like the harp, clarinet, and the viola, and play this figure in the beginning. And then he has two other groups of instruments playing off each other to depict the moodiness of the ocean and also the ferocity of the ocean, what's happening there out in the ocean. So if you're a Britten fan out there, you'll be happy to know that they're fans in the pit. It's really enjoyable for me.